Hi everyone, so again we are back with another video as we are continuing on the topic of pressure or relief in the churches. Is the church creating relief or is it creating pressure? Now if you missed the last video, you definitely want to listen to that one because we spoke about three amazing points. We talk about those. You definitely, my absolute favorite one was about financial pressure. That was the last point that we discussed because I would have seen this so often that preachers come up and they create this sort of fear and anxiety within people so that you give. It shouldn't be that way. So we talk a little bit more on that. So definitely go check that video out. I'm going to try to link it for you. So going to our topic, we're going to continue on it. Do you feel pressured in church or do you feel relieved? What are your thoughts? How have you been feeling? If you have not been going to church, why? Why not? And if you had stopped, why did you stop? And if you're still going, how's it going for you? Let's have the conversation down below. So number 4 point is social and relational expectation. Now you have some persons who are, we call them introverted people, and sometimes the social expectation from the churches, it creates that pressure on people like these. I'm not saying we're out to help people overcome their shyness, but you have some people just talk enough like me. And you have those that are very, very quiet. Like my son doesn't really talk much. He's a bit introverted, I would say. And I recognize that we tried taking out my son one day, and we went out and he was just there, and he was actually on his phone while we were there. I mean, lots of music and people around and everything, and he wasn't even participating. And his response was like, Mom, when are we gonna go home? He just wanted to go home. We went to another place in the summer again. The same thing. It was this nice celebration of Jamaican culture and everything right here in Canada. And he began, that was the same thing. He was sitting in the seat that we had and he was on his phone again. I was like, put away the phone, enjoy, whatever. But he is so much introverted that he doesn't. So to me, it's almost like we were pressuring him to come out. I would say the next time we're not necessarily going to take him, we're going to ask him, and let's explain to him the need for it, because we also have to explain to him the need to be included. So I'm not saying you're not to be included. I'm not saying you're to be excluded for everything, but we should not feel pressured. So that's what we're talking about, the pressure that is created when we try to do things like this. So the church is sometimes place of pressure on individuals to form relationships that you don't want. You never want those relationships in the first place. To attend programs and to events, even if you don't have the time, you feel pressure that you have to do it. You have to go above and beyond to make sure that you are there. Have you ever been there? You feel guilty when you don't go. I have been there. I've been there that, I didn't go to something and I feel guilty. I feel bad. So the expectation of constant social engagement can be overwhelming, especially for those who might need a quiet time or struggling with social anxiety. You see, the church has a big role to play. The pressure of fitting in to meet the social norms can overshadow the church's mission of offering unconditional love and support. That is what the church is there for. Unconditional love and support. We shouldn't be pressuring the people. The Bible said, according to Colossians 3 verse 23, whatever you do in work at it, it will all have at heart as working for the Lord, not for human master, since you know that you will receive an time from the Lord as your reward. It is the Christ you are serving. So we are serving Christ, not man. You understand? So what we are this sort of social expectations and responsibility, that we are creating for people, that you must do this, you must do that. There's no free will anymore. You must. That shouldn't be the case. So we need to be mindful of that. Don't push people that they must fit in. You must fit in. Why not stand out? I tell my son, you need to stand out in a positive way. Create that atmosphere. Number 5 is judgment of sin. This one is a big one. Now they talk about the big sin. The big sin is adultery and fornication. Those are the only things some churches preach about. And so we make people feel inadequate, or they feel pressured if something happened and they fall to sin. The big sin, we create this stigma that they are no good, and God. You remember the story in the Bible with this woman when they wanted to stone her to death, right? And the Bible said, the Lord said to them, because she was caught in the act of adultery. For those who don't know the story, she was caught in the act of adultery, and if that happens to you, you are supposed to be stoned to death. Now Jesus went up there, and all the accusers, everybody around him was like, okay, Jesus, she was caught, she needs to be stoned to death. And Jesus said to them, he that without sin cast the first stone. And he just looked down to take up a stone. And when he held up back his head, nobody was there. And he said to the woman, where are all thine accusers? The woman thought that she was going to die that day, but Jesus had mercy upon him. If Jesus could have so compassion and mercy upon the woman who was caught by the law, she was supposed to be stoned to death. He had mercy. What say you and I? Why we can't have mercy, upon people? So the churches may inadvertently create a culture of judgment. So it's not that I'm saying that the church just go ahead and just do it. Sometimes they do it and not knowingly they do it. So the judgment, especially towards people who are struggling with certain addictions. Whatever the addictions are, we have so many addictions nowadays, right? We have addictions to pornography, we have addiction, divorce, we have the LGBTQ issues, we have all of those issues that in the traditional sense, but when we seek to address these issues, we're not to address it in a way that, let the person feel like they are nobody. You understand? Because sin is sin. Every unrighteousness is sin. And you're not to determine because I just tell a lie and you only do that, I am better than you. Not at all. That cannot be the case. Right? So it can put a fear of people feeling judgment and the stigma. Create that emotional pressure you cause on them. So people, instead of coming out, people hide them sin. Instead of asking for help within the church, they leave the church. They don't ask for help. The way we create that culture. So it's something that we got to look into, because I'm not saying the church intentionally do it. I'm just saying it happening. And the final thing on this point is it can cause individual to feel excluded or ashamed instead of experiencing the grace and the healing power of God. The Bible said, according to Romans 3 verse 23, for all mean everybody, have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So all of us have sinned. I'm not saying you're to just hug up the sin, Because I say we have to create a space that people feel relief and not pressure. Relief to want to seek help. You understand what I'm saying? They should want to seek the help and not to feel like I'm just going to leave the church. The church is there for the people. The church is there for you and I. The church is there as a place of grace, as a place of comfort, have a place of compassion. Definitely, we're gonna have to stop here. Oh my God, I didn't expect this to take so much. So again, we're going to finish this up in our next video. So of course, again, if you have not yet subscribed, you want to subscribe, turn on the notification bell. You can also give this video a thumbs up if you have not yet done so, and leave in the comment section, have you seen these? The judgment of sin in the church, the expectation of constant involvement, like I feel like I have to take part in everything, that sort of social responsibility. Let me know. And also, we did talk about the other three: expectation of being perfect, rigid doctrine, in our first video. So check out the first video if you have not yet done so, and I'll definitely see in part 3. We are going to wrap this thing up in part 3. I'm hoping you're loving this series, and if you're a part of a church and you have just seen some of these things happening, if you get the opportunity to speak on some of them, I'm begging you, please go right ahead, pray about it, and then you can address it, and do so in the right forum. God bless you. Take care, and I'll definitely see you in part 3. Bye.